Yeah, baby. Hey, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Today is day three. Day three. If you guys have been following along, this is day three of the Find Your Voice, Find Your Future challenge. And so today we're going to be talking about the fear factor, and we have a special guest, so you're not going to want to miss. So hang tight, because here's the deal. My question for today is just simply this: what if fear isn't the problem? I mean, just think about that for a second. Seriously, what if fear was not the problem? And what if waiting, right? What if waiting until you're no longer afraid is the real issue? That's the real problem, because here's the thing. Most confident speakers started out nervous. They started out nervous speakers. I love the quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said that every great speaker was once a bad speaker. That's right. They just kept doing it. Most leaders, most speakers started out hesitant. They started out as if, they weren't sure. And so today we're going to be talking about that fear factor. Remember, find your voice, find your freedom. So have you ever noticed that fear loves to tell us that one big lie, right? Ready? Wait until you're ready. That's what it says. Here's the problem with that, right? Most of us never feel ready. I love the quote from John Maxwell. He says that you can't just simply kill time without injuring eternity. You can't, guys. So what you're going to wait till you feel ready, right? We're going to wait to start that business. We're going to wait to post that video. We're going to wait to share those ideas, or we're going to wait until we are ready to speak up. And while you're waiting, you guessed it, opportunity keeps moving past you. Life keeps going on. So thank you for coming and hanging out with us here. Again, day three of our 5-day challenge, Find Your Voice, Find Your Freedom, Find Your Future challenge. And so today we're tackling something every leader faces: fear, right? False evidence appearing real is the way I was taught. But here's the good news, because I'm not going to just all doom and gloom, right? Because fear, everybody has it. I don't want to say, well, I guess we can say it's normal. In fact, if you've ever been nervous before, speaking, presenting, interviewing, or networking, or sharing an idea, congratulations. As my wife says, welcome to humanity. You're human. And many people think courage means not being afraid, and that's not the fact. The truth is, courage has never been the absence of fear. Courage is simply taking action in the face of it. Taking action anyway, right? My coach always said, feel the fear and do it anyway. And so think about that. Think about your first day on the new job. Think about your first presentation, your first sales call, your first live video, your first leadership opportunity. I remember when I was going to go ask my wife out on a date, I was nervous as get out. What if she says no? Thank God I didn't listen to that voice. Now, she said no at first, but I kept that. That's a whole nother lesson in persistence, right? But everybody starts somewhere. Every confident speaker you admire was once a beginner. Every leader you respect once doubted themselves, guys. The difference? They acted before they felt ready. They took the first step, and then the second, and then the third. And confidence didn't just come, right? Action came first, and confidence followed, right? If you're not willing to take the first step, I'm pretty sure the second step will never happen, right? Because I get it, all right? That imposter syndrome, or that negative, that scarcity mindset. What if I fail, right? But what if you learn, right? Fear says, what if they judge me? Growth says, what if I help someone? What if I'm able to serve someone at the highest level? Fear will tell you to wait, but growth says start anyway. Guys, I cannot wait to bring our next guest. Matter of fact, I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to get right into it, because here's a fun fact I will share before we bring him back on the stage, before we bring him to the stage. Did you know that many people list public speaking as one of their biggest fears? Above dying. The funny thing is, the people who become great speakers aren't fearless. They just simply practice speaking despite the fear. They do. They simply do. And so our next speaker is going to help us with some of that. Matter of fact, speaking of overcoming fear and transforming the way we think, today's guest is someone who helps people rewrite the stories they tell themselves. And so joining us today is Travis White. Travis is a professional life and mindset coach and the founder of Be The Firefly, a transformational coaching practice built around one powerful belief: WCW. No, I know what you're thinking. World Championship Wrestling. No. This is words create worlds. And through his signature coaching framework, the Firefly Path, Travis helps people move from chaos to clarity, one belief at a time. So whether you're stuck, overwhelmed, uncertain, or simply ready for your next level of growth, Travis is going to help people uncover the beliefs that may be holding them back and replace them with beliefs that move them forward. I'll put this his website here in the link, but I want to go ahead and bring Travis onto the stage. Travis, welcome, the Firefly himself, man. Excited to have you.
Hey, good to be here.
And Travis, you have been one of the newest members that has come on board. You stepped right into leadership. You started helping out. Travis, we're doing this day 3 of day 5 of inviting people to our leadership lunch and learn this coming Friday. What can you tell us about Toastmasters? What has this done for you? What can you share with the people watching right now?
You know, I've not been one of those that was really afraid to speak, but I had spent years kind of speaking in my bubble, I call it, one-on-one with clients, either Zoom or here in the office. And when you and I met and started talking about Toastmasters, I just wanted to get outside the box and show myself that I could be just as brave and courageous speaking about anything and not just my own story that I had become so accustomed to sharing. So it's been a wild ride. It seems like it's been longer than 6 months, but I'm excited and I'm in it to win it.
Man, that's awesome. And Travis, we read a little bit about your bio, and many people know that they need to take action, but fear keeps them stuck. In your coaching experience, what's one limiting belief that people commonly tell themselves that prevents them from stepping into that leadership role or just simply speaking up?
Well, you know, until we get in connection with our subconscious, you know, Carl Jung said, making the unconscious conscious, we don't realize that it's not fear that we fear. It's the story we tell about fear. And so the 3 core things that most of us get stuck in is I'm not enough, I'm a failure, nobody will accept me. And so we don't fear fear. We fear the precursor of fear, which is the story we tell ourselves, especially I'm not enough. And so we protect ourselves and we just stay where we are in the little safe bubble. And we don't realize it's a prison keeping us from our greatest potential in life.
Oh my goodness. That's right. That's the thing, right? And the thing about fear is that it usually has, I call them 3 cousins, right? Doubt, worry, and hesitation. It's all right there, all coming together. And so a lot of times, we talked about it earlier, or I shared it earlier, is a lot of times you're going to feel the fear and you just got to take action no matter what, right? A lot of times people are waiting for confidence, and it's not the confidence they're waiting on. They're waiting on action, because action, once you take action, my coach said it to me this way. He goes, logic will not change an emotion, but action will. When you start to take action, it's amazing what happens. Travis, I learned something from you probably 1.5 years, 2 years ago. You came to one of our Rotary meetings and you said this and it stuck like glue, like you wouldn't believe. Your message where you say words create worlds.
Absolutely.
How does the language we use about ourselves either fuel fear or create the confidence? And what's one practical shift that someone can make today to help them move in the direction of their dreams or their goals?
Yeah, it's something that stuck with me a long time. I was in bondage to my own, what I call it, my internal narrative, my story for half my life, more than I sometimes like to admit. And that phrase, words create worlds, became true because the words we speak to ourselves, often even in our subconscious, they form and fashion and nurture our core beliefs, and our core beliefs is where we get action. So we don't act in life, you know, speaking in public, taking that next step in a career or in our personal life, because our core beliefs are telling us we can't. And as simple as it sounds, as elementary as it sounds, the first step we have to do is we have to start practicing a positive narrative. Now, what I do with clients before we do that is we awaken to the fullness of the negative narrative, because often so much of it is in the subconscious. We don't hear that. You know, I ask people, do you walk around saying I'm not enough all the time? Well, no, every now and then. And then we start talking and their whole narrative is just fraught with I'm not enoughness. You know, so the first thing we have to do is raise awareness. I call it turning all the lights on in the house and just owning where we are and then speaking that truth. And as simple as it sounds, we begin to practice positivity. Not the self-help repeating 20 times, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. But literally, if we speak that, because we have to realize our brain's a computer and it's only processing the information we give it. So whatever we say is going to nurture our core beliefs. Everything we say, positive or negative, it works equally as strong in our mindset.
Man, I tell you what, that is so huge, right? Perception is reality. And a lot of times, I love the quote from, I'm a quotes kind of guy, but Albert Einstein says that imagination is everything. It's the preview of life's coming attraction. The problem with that is if you have a fearful mindset, a negative mindset, a scarcity mindset, you're already previewing in your mind, what if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? And eventually it happens, right? It's kind of that self-fulfilling prophecy. And you tell yourself, see, I told you it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And never having thought of, hey, what if this does work? What if this does come to pass? What if this, oh my God, Travis, I could go on and on about this fact right here. Matter of fact, for 2 years, I ran something called Faith Your Fears Friday. And we were debunking, we were busting any kind of myths, any kind of limiting beliefs, any glass ceilings people put on themselves. You can go to my YouTube channel and look at all of those on there. You go to johnnyjuan.com, go to the YouTube, and you'll be able to see a lot of that stuff. But Travis, this Friday, let's go ahead and bring it up here. This Friday is our Leadership Lunch and Learn. We do this once a month. It's on the first Friday of every month, and we're going to be hosting it at the Rose City Comedy, located on Old Jacksonville Highway, right there at the corner of Dueling Oaks and Old Jacksonville Highway, just past Fresh and right across the street from Tejas de Brazil. So if you've been waiting until you feel ready, stop. Don't. Your first attempt doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It just has to happen. That's why we created this this First Friday Leadership Lunch and Learn. Yeah. And again, it starts from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. And so come practice leadership before you need it. Come and discover your voice. I love the where I came up with the Find Your Voice, Find Your Freedom was from one of my favorite movies was The Gladiator, when Maximus was told that if you win the crowd, you win your freedom. But the truth of the matter is, if you find your voice, not only will you find your freedom, you're going to find your leadership. You're going to find whatever it is that you're looking for. And so come practice it with us. Come and see why Roast Toasters is where leaders are made. And remember, the people you admire weren't fearless. They were simply willing to take the first step. And so, Travis, as we wrap this up, I want to ask you one more question. I didn't have this one earlier, but if fear was sitting in one chair and possibility was sitting in another chair, what would you say to the person who's been listening to fear for far too long?
Well, I would say that those two things, possibility and fear, sitting in those two chairs, have exact equal power in your life. And you're the one that energizes them with your words and your core beliefs. So if it's, I believe in myself, you'll take the next step, like coming to visit us Friday. Or you say, I don't believe in myself, then you'll sit there. It's not the fear. It's the shame of looking forward and seeing ourselves failing. So all we have to do is see ourselves succeeding. And eventually it will happen. Just like the ruts we got stuck in the failure will eventually create a healthy rut of success and movement and possibility.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Petra Hawkins is watching. She says this is good stuff. Petra, thanks for being on here. If you're watching live, go ahead and share this with somebody that needs to hear this mindset, this take on fear. Because here's the thing, Travis nailed it. He hit the nail right on the head, right? Fear starts with the story, and confidence starts with the new story, right? We're going back to words create worlds. You get to pick. You decide whether you're going to have a good day or a bad day. You know, the way I say it is, every single day that I live, I win. Because if I don't, right, even if I fail, I learn. What did I learn? And if I learned, did I really fail?
Right.
No. Every single day is a win. Hey guys, listen. Tomorrow we're going to be having another guest that has an incredible and a powerful story. And we're also going to be talking about how your network is your net worth. Or is it? I don't know. We're going to talk about that because who you spend time with directly influences who you will become. Hey, Travis, go ahead and invite the people as we wrap this thing up.
Yeah, you guys come to see us Friday. This is our favorite meeting of the month. The first Friday of the month, we meet at the Comedy Club, and it's a great crowd. Just stretch your potential and see what might happen. Join us at 11 a.m.
We'll see you there, guys.
See ya.
Adios.